What's up guys, welcome back to Obi King Media. I believe you all have seen that video of Wike shouting at a naval officer, calling him a fool and all that. The video went viral and everybody had something to say about it. So today I'm breaking down what every important person in Nigeria has said about this issue. From former military chiefs to politicians, activists and even Peter Obi. Some people are supporting Wike, some people are saying he went too far. So let's dive in. Let's start with the heavyweight, General Tukur Buratai. You know him, former chief of army staff. This man did not hold back at all. Buratai came out and said what Wike did was wrong. He called it profound indiscipline and said it was reckless behavior that endangers national security. Listen to what he said, and these are his exact words. A minister's verbal assault on a military officer in uniform is an act of profound indiscipline that strikes at the very foundation of our national security apparatus. This action by Wike clearly undermines the federal government's authority. It disrespects the commander-in-chief and wounds the morale of every officer who serves under the Nigerian flag. Chai, you see that? Buratai said Wike disrespected President Tinubu himself by shouting at that officer, and he said it affects the morale of all our soldiers. That's a serious accusation. But wait, there is another military man who spoke, the current defense minister, Mohammed Badaru Abubakar. And you know what? This one defended the naval officer. He said the ministry will always protect officers who are doing their lawful duty. His words, "We will always protect our officer. He has done well. We won't allow anything happen to him." So the defense minister is standing with Lieutenant Yerima. That's the officer's name, by the way, Lieutenant A.M. Yerima. Remember that name. What this means is that the defense minister is saying the officer was right to stop Wike. Interesting, right? Now, let's talk about what politicians are saying, and the biggest one to speak was Peter Obi. Peter Obi released a statement calling this whole thing a needless national embarrassment. He said it's a symptom of what he called a disgraced country. Obi asked two important questions. He said, why are we sending soldiers to do civilian work? And he also asked, why are government officials always acting like they are above the law? He said this kind of behavior undermines governance and makes Nigerians lose trust in their leaders. And honestly, Peter Obi has a point. This whole thing did not look good for Nigeria. Another politician who spoke was Osita Chidoka, former Minister of Aviation. You remember him, right? He used to head FRSC2. Chidoka said Wike was wrong. He said, and I quote, "Abusing a law enforcement officer diminishes the authority of the Republic." He even urged Wike to apologize to the officer and to the entire country. Chidoka said the disrespect was too much and somebody needs to say something. But wait, not everybody is saying Wike was wrong. There is a senior advocate of Nigeria, a constitutional law expert called Professor Sebastine Hon. This man came out with a completely different take. He said, legally speaking, Wike was right. Listen to this argument. He said, as FCT minister, Wike represents the president. So when Wike shows up at that land, he's basically standing in for President Tinubu. That's what local parentis means, standing in place of someone. Professor Hon said, even if the person who sent that officer was still in service, he cannot disobey Wike or block him from entering the land. According to this lawyer, it is the officer who broke the law, not Wike. He even said the officer should be court-martialed. That means face military trial for obstructing a public officer from doing his job. The minister's method may be brash, but it is legal and lawful in all respects. So according to this Sam, Wike can shout, Wike can vex, but legally he is not wrong. It is the soldier who is in trouble. This is where it gets interesting. The legal people are saying one thing, the military people are saying another thing. So who is right? Anyways, let me tell you about Joe Igbokwe. This APC chieftain has been all over social media defending Wike like his life depends on it. Joe Igbokwe said that Officer Lieutenant Yerima should be sacked immediately. He said the man has no respect for constituted authority. Listen to what he wrote on Facebook. This is the young man, Lieutenant Yerima, that challenged FCT 001, His Excellency Wike. The young officer has no respect for constituted authority. This is unacceptable. His uniform should be removed ASAP. But Igbokwe did not stop there. He went further and said something that got people really angry. He said, "What this small boy displayed today has a million meanings. I am running away with the thinking that those lands were stolen. Take him out of the military ASAP. He represents evil. He was not well brought up. Chai, small boy, not well brought up. He represents evil." That's a heavy language. Now, Joe Igbokwe saying all this triggered another person. Activist lawyer Deji Adeyanju fired back at Igbokwe. He said Joe is just hustling for political appointments and supporting Wike because he wants something. Then Igbokwe fired back. He said, "Deji, you do not know me and I do not know you. I have been a well-made man for over 30 years. I started activism in the 1980s. I am not looking for anything from anybody. I am not your mate." So these two are now fighting on social media because of Wike and that officer. You see how this thing is dividing people. You know who else supported Wike? Asari Dokubo. Yes, Asari Dokubo, the former Niger Delta militant leader. Asari and Wike have had their own issues before, but on this matter, Asari said Wike is right. He released a video. You can find it on Facebook, where he said that the officer should be court-martialed for insubordination. That means disobeying orders. Asari Dokubo said, "I am not taking sides with Wike. I am taking sides with the law, the rules, and the convention. In any sane society, that officer would have been detained and disciplined." He explained that Wike is like the governor of Abuja, and he is the chief security officer after the president. So that officer should not have challenged him like that. Asari Dokubo said, even though he does not personally like Wike, in any sane country, that officer should have been court-martialed. So even people who are not Wike's friends are saying the officer crossed the line. Anyways, let's talk about the other side. Activist lawyer Deji Adeyanju has been one of the strongest critics of Wike. Adeyanju dropped some information that many people did not know. He said the land that Wike wanted to seize was actually bought by a company called Santos Properties 15 years ago. That's 2010. He said the former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awal Zubairu Gambo, approached that company and asked for part of the land so his wife could build an event center. The company agreed and gave him. So according to Adeyanju, this is not stolen land. This is land that people bought legally and got approval for. And it's this same land that Wike now wants to take and demolish. So Adeyanju praised Lieutenant Yerima for standing tall during what he called intimidation by Wike. He also said something very interesting. The fact that most Nigerians were jubilating his humiliation yesterday should naturally make him have a sober reflection. In other words, Adeyanju is saying most Nigerians were happy to see Wike embarrassed. That should tell Wike something. He even compared Wike to Diziani, saying Wike is to President Tinubu what Diziani was to former President Goodluck Jonathan. You know, that's a very serious comparison. We all know what happened to Diziani. Now, it's not just one or two people talking. A whole coalition of military veterans came together and released a statement. The spokesperson, Abiodun Durowaye Herbert, condemned Wike's behavior. He said it was disrespectful and unbecoming of a public office holder. He asked, how can a public official call an officer a fool on camera? A responsible leader should have engaged the Chief of Naval Staff privately rather than attempting to humiliate a uniformed officer in public. These veterans reminded everyone that soldiers swear loyalty to Nigeria, not to individual politicians. They don't work for Wike personally. And they demanded that Wike apologize publicly. They said, Wike's outburst demeans the dignity of his office. He must apologize for using abusive language. Such conduct is unbecoming of a minister of the Federal Republic. So the people who have actually served in the military are saying Wike is wrong. But the military veterans are not even alone. Over 600 civil society organizations came together and said Wike should be removed from office entirely. These CSOs described Wike's outburst as unacceptable and reckless. They called it a gross act of indiscipline and arrogance unbecoming of a public office holder. 600 organizations, that is a lot of people saying the same thing. Wike has gone too far. They praised General Buratai for speaking truth to power and warned that if nothing is done to Wike, it sends a dangerous message that government officials can do anything without consequences. Now, one group of people who have been surprisingly quiet is the Nigerian Navy itself. When journalists reached out to the Navy spokesman, Adam Saliu, to ask about the incident, you know what he said? No reply for now. That's it. The Navy has not released any official statement about this matter. They are not defending their officer publicly. They are not condemning Wike either. They are just silent. But you know what the defense headquarters posted on X? They posted a screenshot that says, "It's an honor to serve in the Nigerian military, unshaken, unbent, unbroken." Now, they did not mention Wike or the incident directly, but everybody understood what they were saying. They were basically saying that that officer stood his ground and they are proud of him. Now, let me tell you a bit about this officer that stood up to Wike. His full name is Ahmed Yerima. He's a lieutenant in the Nigerian Navy. He was born and raised in Kaduna State. He started at Ahmadu Bello University in Zaria in 2011, studying social science. Then he transferred to the Nigerian Defense Academy, also in Kaduna. So this is not just some random person. This is a trained military officer who went through proper military education. And in the audio from that confrontation, people who listened carefully said Yerima was actually very calm and respectful. He was not shouting back at Wike. He was just explaining why he was there and that he was following orders from his superior. That's why many Nigerians are respecting him. He did not abuse Wike back. He did not raise his voice. He just stood his ground professionally. But of course, Wike's people have also been talking. His senior special advisor on publicity, Larry Olayinka, defended his boss. Olayinka said the military officer was unruly. He said Wike even called the chief of defense staff before going to that land, and when they got there, Wike gave his phone to the officer to speak to the CDS directly. According to Olayinka, the officer refused to cooperate even when speaking to his superior on the phone. That's why Wike got angry. So Wike's team is saying, we followed procedure, we called the top military boss. This officer was just being stubborn and disrespectful. But many people are asking, if Wike already spoke to the CDS, why not just wait for the CDS to handle it? Why start shouting at the officer on the ground? So at the end of the day, the real question is who actually owns this land? According to Wike, there is no legal document in FCTA records showing that land was properly allocated. He's saying someone is building there illegally without approval. But according to Deji Adeyanju and others, the land was bought by Santos Properties 15 years ago. Then the former Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Awa Gambo, got part of it for his wife to build an event center. So if that's true, the land is not stolen, it's legally acquired. And the real question becomes, why is Wike trying to demolish a legally acquired property? Unless there is something we don't know. Maybe the documents were not properly submitted to FCTA. Maybe there are issues with the building approval. But this is a problem with Nigerian governance. We don't know the full story because nobody is being transparent. It's just social media videos and he said, she said. So Vice Admiral Gambo himself has not spoken publicly about this. He's been completely silent. Why? Now let me tell you why this matter is bigger than just Wike and one officer. Number one, it shows how our leaders treat military personnel. Should a minister be shouting at soldiers like that? Even if the soldier is wrong, is that how to handle it? Number two, it raises questions about land grabbing in Abuja. We've all had stories of how powerful people just take land in the FCT. Is this another case of that? Number three, it shows the problem of impunity. When ministers can shout at officers and nothing happens, what message does that send? That if you have power, you can do anything. Peter Obi was right to call this a national embarrassment because the rest of the world is watching this video and asking, is this how things work in Nigeria? And the answer, unfortunately, is yes. This is exactly how things work here. Power pass power. Whoever has more connections win. As of today, nothing has happened to Wike. No apology, no suspension, nothing. And the officer is still doing his job. The question now is, will there be consequences for anyone, or will this just blow over like every other Nigerian scandal? Well, only time will tell. So my people, what do you guys think? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Was Wike right or wrong? Should the officer have just moved out of the way, or did he do the right thing by standing his ground? Let me know in the comments. And if you learned something new today, please like this video, share it, and subscribe to this channel.